When Martha, 71 years old, woke up on day 3 and saw what came out of her navel, she almost called an ambulance. It was dark. It looked like years of something hidden had finally come to the surface, but her doctor told her something she never expected. He said, "Whatever you are doing, keep doing it." Now, I know what you are thinking. This sounds like one of those internet stories that is too good to be true. Honestly, I thought the same thing. I almost did not make this video. But after digging into the research and hearing from hundreds of people in our community, I changed my mind. Let me show you why. Before we start, I want to be clear about something. I am not a doctor. Nothing in this video replaces medical advice. Martha checked with her doctor before she tried this, and that is something I always recommend. This is not a replacement for your healthcare. Think of it as a complement, something simple you add to what you are already doing. Now, let me take you back to where Martha's story actually begins. The heavy gut and the clogged garden hose. At 71, Martha felt like her body was slowly closing shop. Every morning was a battle: stiff joints, a heavy, bloated stomach, a strange coldness in her feet that never went away, no matter how many wool socks she wore. Her legs felt like concrete. She did not change her medications. She did not join a gym. She changed one tiny habit right before bed. She put a single drop of a specific oil mixture into her navel. Now, her biggest struggle was not the joints. It was her digestion. You probably know that feeling after dinner where your stomach feels like a heavy balloon. You try to button your pants, but it is uncomfortable. You feel sluggish. Your energy just drops. This is what happens when waste sits too long in the system. As we get older, our digestive tract slows down. Think of it like a garden hose that is getting clogged with sand. The water still gets through, but it is slow and the pressure is weak. What Martha did was tap into something called the Pechoti method. This is an ancient practice that some researchers and practitioners have started looking at more closely in recent years. The idea is simple. Inside your navel, there are thousands of tiny nerve endings. By placing a small amount of castor oil there, you are not just rubbing oil on your skin. You are sending a gentle signal to your gut. Relax. Start moving. Martha noticed that by the 3rd day, that heavy balloon feeling was gone. She woke up feeling light, almost like she had lost weight overnight. But it was not weight loss. It was her body finally clearing out what it did not need. And when your gut moves better, your whole body responds. You have more energy because your body is not spending everything it has trying to process old waste. But here is what I did not expect when I started researching this. The effect on sleep is where things get really interesting. And for anyone over 60, sleep is everything. The sleep switch. Most people cannot find. Before I continue, I want to ask you something. Drop a comment below if you struggle with sleep. If you lie in bed with your mind racing, feeling wired but exhausted. I want to see how many of us share this, because when I asked our community, the number was staggering. Sarah is a 65-year-old retired teacher from Ohio. For years, she was lucky to get 4 hours of broken sleep. She lived in a fog. Coffee did not help. Melatonin supplements made her groggy. She felt like she was running on fumes. She started the navel ritual. And this is where I have to be careful with my words, because I do not want to overstate things. What some practitioners and natural health researchers have observed is that applying certain herbal oils to the navel area may help support the body's natural melatonin production and help lower evening cortisol, which is your stress hormone. Now, I was the biggest skeptic about this one. Sleep is complicated. There is no magic switch. But Sarah told me something that made me pause. She said that about 20 minutes after applying the oil, she felt a wave of gentle warmth spreading from her belly to her chest, like a natural weighted blanket for her insides, for the first time in a decade. When your stress hormones calm down, your brain stops rehearsing tomorrow's problems. You drift into a deeper, more restorative sleep. And we all know that sleep is when the body repairs itself. If you are not sleeping well, you are not healing well. Now, sleeping better is a huge win on its own. But what this does for aching joints, that part actually surprised me even more. And this is where a man named Arthur comes in. Arthur's stairs and the 72,000 pathways. Arthur is 69. A big, strong man from Michigan who spent 30 years working with his hands. He loved gardening, but every time he stood up from the flower bed, his knees screamed at him. Walking up the stairs felt like punishment. His wife would hear him groan from the other room. Now, Arthur is not the type of man who believes in ancient remedies. He told me straight. He said, "I only tried it because my wife would not stop talking about it." But here is what is interesting. In traditional healing systems, the navel is considered the center point for a vast network. Some traditions describe it as the junction of over 72,000 pathways that spread throughout the body. Think of it like the central train station in a big city. If you put something beneficial there, it does not just stay in one place. It travels. Arthur used a mixture of castor oil with a tiny amount of ginger oil. Ginger is known to help blood vessels relax and open up. By the fourth day, he noticed something. The grinding feeling in his hips when he walked up the stairs was quieter. Not gone, but muffled, like someone had turned the volume down. He told his wife, "I am not saying this works, but I am also not stopping." By the end of the first week, Arthur was back in the garden, not just for 10 minutes, for an hour. He sent me a photo of his tomato plants with the message, "These are my proof." This makes sense when you think about it. Castor oil contains ricinoleic acid, which is recognized for its anti-inflammatory properties. Instead of targeting just one joint, you are encouraging a calmer response across the whole system, a systemic approach instead of a spot treatment. But Arthur noticed something else by day 3. Something that brings us back to Martha's story. The thing that came out of his navel that almost made him quit. Almost. What the dark residue actually is. This is the part that surprises most people. And honestly, it is the part that almost made me not believe any of this. After a few days of putting oil in your navel, you might wake up and see that the cotton ball or the area itself looks dark, brownish, sometimes almost black. Your first instinct is to worry. Martha thought she had an infection. Arthur thought he did something wrong. But here is the simple explanation. Your navel is a deep pocket. Over the years, it collects lint, sweat, dead skin cells, and what some practitioners call lipophilic residue, substances that tend to accumulate in skin folds and oily areas. Over decades, your navel quietly becomes a storage unit for these impurities. When you introduce castor oil, which acts as a natural solvent, it begins to soften and break down this old, hardened buildup. Think of it like putting oil on a rusty hinge. The oil loosens what is stuck, and it starts to come out. The dark color is often a mix of oxidized material and the impurities your body is finally releasing. It is actually a good sign. It means something is moving. Most people report that this dark stage lasts about 3 or 4 days. After that, it clears up. And that is when something else starts to happen. Something you can actually see in the mirror. But before we talk about that, there is a problem that affects millions of people over 60. And it is something Linda from Arizona was desperate to solve. Linda's ice block feet and the internal heater. Do you struggle with cold hands and feet, even when the house is warm? Before you scroll past this part, drop a comment if you have ever worn 2 or 3 pairs of socks to bed. I have a feeling I am not alone here. Linda is 68. She lives in Arizona, where it is warm most of the year. And yet, every single night, her feet felt like ice blocks. Not just cold, painful. She could not fall asleep because of it. Now, this is a common sign that circulation needs support. As we age, our blood vessels lose some of their flexibility. They do not open up as easily. The blood still flows, but it is harder for it to reach the places farthest from the heart. your toes, your fingertips. Linda started the navel oil ritual, but she added something smart. She placed a small warm pack over her belly for about 10 minutes after applying the oil. The gentle heat helps the oil absorb more effectively. And within the first few nights, she felt something she had not felt in years. A tingling warmth that started in her core and moved down her legs. By improving circulation in the center of the body, you are encouraging better flow to the extremities. Linda stopped wearing 3 pairs of socks to bed. She told me, "I did not get hot feet. I got normal feet. And I forgot what normal felt like." This is what I call the internal heater effect. When your core is warm and your blood is moving freely, your body does not need to hoard heat in your chest. It can send it where it is needed. Now, the next benefit is one I debated whether to even include, because it sounds the most unlikely. But the number of people who have reported it is too high for me to ignore. The eye connection. Nobody expects. How can your belly button help your eyes? I know. I said the same thing. It sounds like something from an old folk tale. But think about it this way. If you suffer from dry eyes, which is extremely common after 65, it is often because your body's overall hydration and internal lubrication are declining. Everything is connected. Imagine a tree. If the roots are dry, the leaves at the very top start to wither. You do not fix the problem by spraying the leaves. You water the roots. Some traditional healing systems consider the navel to be the root of the body's distribution network. By nourishing that center point, you are supporting moisture levels throughout the entire system, including your eyes. Now, I am not going to sit here and tell you this will fix your vision. That would be irresponsible. But several people in our community have mentioned that after a week of the ritual, their eyes felt less gritty in the morning, less dry. Some said colors seemed slightly sharper. Is it the oil? Is it the better sleep? Is it the improved circulation? Probably a combination of all of it. The body does not work in isolation. Everything is connected. And speaking of things that are connected, the next benefit is the one that made Martha's friends ask if she had had work done. The natural glow that does not come from a bottle. We spend a fortune on creams and serums, $50 here, $80 there. But here is something most skincare companies will not tell you. When your body is holding on to waste, when your sleep is poor, when your circulation is sluggish, no cream in the world is going to give you that glow. Beauty starts from the inside. It always has. After about a week of the navel ritual, Martha's friends started asking questions. Did you change your makeup? Are you using a new cream? She was not. Her skin just looked different. Plumper, clearer, more alive. This makes sense when you put the pieces together. Better digestion means fewer toxins circulating. Better sleep means more repair time. Better circulation means more nutrients reaching the skin. And castor oil's ricinoleic acid is a known anti-inflammatory, which helps calm the kind of low-grade inflammation that makes skin look dull and tired. You do not need to spend hundreds of dollars. You need to support the system that feeds your skin from the inside. And it starts with 1 drop. Now, before you try this tonight, and I hope you do, you need to know exactly how to do it. Because if you skip a step, you might not see these results. And there are mistakes I see people make over and over that I want to help you avoid. The exact protocol, how to do it right. Please do not just go to the kitchen and grab any oil. This matters. The oil. You want organic, cold-pressed castor oil, ideally in a glass bottle, not plastic. Quality makes a real difference here. If you are not sure where to find the right kind, I have pinned a comment at the top of this video with what our community has been using. It is affordable and it is trusted. The timing. Right before bed. Every night. Consistency is what makes this work. The steps. First, clean your navel. Use a Q-tip with a little warm water and gently clean the area. You want the pathway clear. Second, lay flat on your back. Use a dropper to place just 1 or 2 drops into your navel. Do not fill it up. You only need a tiny amount. More is not better. Too much just sits there and can cause irritation. Third, gently massage the area around your navel in a clockwise direction for about 60 seconds. This follows the natural direction of your digestive system. Fourth, and this is the step most people skip, take a small cotton ball and place it over your navel. Use a piece of medical tape to hold it in place. This keeps the oil concentrated so your body can absorb it through the night. Without this step, most of the oil just ends up on your sheets. Some people ask about warming the oil. You can warm it slightly. Body temperature is perfect. Not hot, just warm enough that it feels comfortable and soaks in a little faster. One important note: if you have recently had abdominal surgery, wait until your doctor clears you. If you have a known allergy to castor oil, this is not for you. Listen to your body. This is meant to support your natural systems, not replace your medical care. What to expect? The 7-day timeline. Here is what the typical experience looks like, based on what our community reports. Day 1. You might feel a gentle warmth in your belly area. Sleep might come a little easier. Nothing dramatic, just a subtle shift. Day 2 to 3. This is usually when the dark residue appears on the cotton ball. Do not panic. Remember, this is your body releasing what has been sitting there for years. Linda also noticed her feet started feeling less cold around this time. Day 4 to 5. Morning stiffness starts to ease. Your stomach should feel flatter, less bloating, less gas. Arthur said day 5 was when he first walked up the stairs without groaning. Day 6 to 7. Martha calls this the lightness day. You wake up with energy that does not come from coffee. You feel cleaner from the inside. Your skin starts to look different. People around you start to notice. Now, everyone is different. Some people feel changes faster. Some take a little longer. The key is consistency. It took decades for these systems to slow down. Give them a week to start responding. I want to leave you with something Martha told me last month. It stuck with me, and I think it will stick with you too. She said, "I did not get my youth back. I got something better. I got my mornings back. I wake up, and I actually want to get out of bed. I have not felt that way in 15 years. That is what this is about. Not miracles, not magic. Just giving your body a small, simple tool that helps it do what it was always designed to do. Try it tonight. 1 drop, 1 minute of massage, 1 cotton ball, and let me know in the comments what your morning feels like on day 3. If this was helpful, do me a small favor. Hit that subscribe button and share this with someone you care about who might need to hear it. I will see you in the next one.